Hi. Hey. Hi. It's me, your Void, and it's time to play one or five different games. So I went and made myself a TBR game that I'm going to play all throughout 2026. And because I can't do anything calm and relaxed and just easy, I made a very complicated, very layered game that is so complicated that I needed to write down all of the rules for myself in a document that I then printed out and even stapled together. Because it's a lot. It is a lot. Like I said, there are layers to it. And because it is a lot, I decided I will make a whole ass video explaining it, because I also think that gatekeeping is dumb, and if you want a very complicated, way too complicated TBR game to gamify your reading, be my guest. So I will talk you through the rules and the prompts and the game boards and the cards. Yes, there are cards involved. And yeah, take notes, children. There will be a test at the end of this. Welcome to my floor. Please appreciate my drag queen socks. My sibling gifted them to me. I love them very much. But that's not why we're here. So, what is this madness all about? Well, like I said, I decided I wanted a TBR game, so I went out and made my own. And I went a bit overboard. I did not base this on anything. If this resembles any kind of game you know, cool, but I did not base this on anything. I made this all by myself. My brain puked it up, and here we are. So the first thing you see is you have 5 different game boards. We have the forest, the mountains, the desert, the ocean, and the snowfields. And as you can tell, the game boards get bigger and bigger with every iteration, and that is because you are traveling further and further away, and you have to travel longer to find the resources. This game is basically a resource gathering and crafting game. And because I love fantasy, I made it fantasy based or with fantasy elements. The way you play it is you, first and foremost, draw a random crafting card. So you have like dye, you have glass, spear of stabbing, stuff like that. And you can see each of these cards has ingredients. Sometimes it's 3, there are 4, some only have 1, I believe. But like every card has ingredients, and these ingredients are what gives you your reading prompts. So let's take, for example, the dye. For the dye, we need a pinch of sand, the needle of a cactus, and a dash of squid ink. So we have to refer to our handy-dandy rule set. So step 1 is find out where is your ingredient. So for the pinch of sand, you can pretty much already guess where that is from. So we go to the desert and it says a pinch of sand, and you have your reading prompt right here, which is to read a book with less than 200 pages. Okay, cool. But you have to travel to the desert first. The forest comes first, then comes the mountains, then comes the desert. In order to get to the desert from the starting point where we are at, you have to pay in a certain amount of pages. You don't have to do these in order, but in order to get to somewhere, you have to pay. There is a travel cost. Getting to the forest from the starting point, easy peasy, doesn't do anything, doesn't cost you anything, and then you travel, and depending on where you start and where you want to go, you have to pay in different kinds of pages. So we could go directly from the start to the desert, but that costs us 300 pages. We haven't read anything this month yet, so we kind of need to build a bank first. The needle of the cactus also wants us to go to the desert, but the ink of a squid wants us to go to the ocean. Our best bet would actually be to start at the ocean, because traveling to the ocean only costs us 200 pages. All of that sounds incredibly complicated. I know, I am aware of this. But for the sake of it, let's say we travel to the desert, right? So we take our desert board. We start where it says start here. Then you take a d6. D6 is the optimal die to play with. You can, of course, use any other die. So you roll d6, I got a 5, and now I can decide where I want to go. And you see stars and skulls on here. If you land on a star, you get a bonus. Those are the green cards. They give you something like, okay, you can cut the travel cost in half when you leave the desert. You can read whatever you want. You don't have to stick to the prompt you're reading. Or you gain more ingredients, stuff like that. And the skulls are the penalties, which are the red cards, which is like, you lost your last ingredient, so you have to do it again. You have to read double the amount of books for a prompt to be fulfilled to get the ingredient. Your travel cost doubles, stuff like that. So with the 5, I could be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 2 ways to play this game, because of course I made it I gave this thing an easy mode and a hard mode. The easy mode is you can get any ingredient from the desert, anywhere in the desert. If you play the hard mode, you have to see where you are at. Now this one will give me the cactus. I could have gone this way and gotten the sand, so it doesn't really matter, but I can only get the cactus in the cactus fields and the sand in the sand fields if I play hard mode. Otherwise, it doesn't matter where I go. So now I'm in the cactus area, and I know I need a needle of a cactus, so I look to my prompts and see needle of a cactus needs read a book outside of my comfort zone. So now I would read a book that is outside of my comfort zone to get the needle of a cactus. Fast forward, I read the book that made me uncomfortable, probably reviewed it for a wrap-up video. Next roll, another 5. I like this die. I should use it more often. If I play hard mode, I probably would like to go here or here with the 5. If I play easy mode, I can go wherever. Let's pretend I'm playing hard mode. I have a 5, I need sand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. I read a book under 200 pages, which is the prompt for the sand. Coolio. Now I have read everything that I need from the desert. Let's say this book was under 200 pages. Let's say this was 150 pages, and let's say this book for the cactus was 350 pages. That gives us 500 pages. I now have 500 pages in the bank to travel somewhere else. I need the ink of a squid, so I need to travel to the ocean. So we go back to the rules and see how much it costs to travel to the ocean from the desert. Refer to the travel cost tab. So we are in the desert and we want to travel to the ocean. That costs us 100 pages. So of those 500 pages I have in my bank, I now take 100 to travel to the ocean. I am now at 400 pages in my traveling budget. I start here. Same thing. We need a dash of squid ink. That would be down here and up here. So that is where we want to go, right? In hard mode. That's a 6. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite. This one would be the whale's song. I don't have to read for the whale song, but if you're playing hard mode, you now have to read for the whale song. The thing is, you have to read a book before you are allowed to continue on the board. So I would have to read another book for this. For shits and giggles, because we said we are playing hard mode, let's say I read a book for the whale song. So we go back to the prompts. We find the ocean. We go to the Song of the Whale, and this wants me to read a book that is inspired by a song that is either on my favorite list or the last song I listened to. So now I need to find a book that is inspired by a song I like to listen to. Let's say I read it. Let's say it's like 675 pages. I add 675 pages to my already existing 400 pages of travel costs. So now I have over 1,000 pages of traveling left for me to use. And I get to do another roll. I roll, I get a 3. 1, 2, 3. I land in the squid ink zone. I read for the squid ink, which in this case, down here, would be to read a book with a misleading cover. Let's say I read my misleading cover. Let's say it was 300 pages long. I add 300 pages to my traveling cost, and I have all the ingredients I need. I still need to travel back home. I cannot just sit in the ocean and craft my stuff. So we go back to the travel costs. We go to the ocean, and we see going to the ocean but also returning from the ocean costs 200 pages. I have over 1,000 pages in my bank. I can go back home, easy peasy. And back home, I have now all the ingredients for my dye. I craft the dye and I get my reward of 300 gold. It sounds incredibly complicated, but it is actually kind of intuitive. I also did not do a great job of explaining it, but here we are. There are also different kinds of rewards. The most commonly found reward is money. Do I know what to do with the money just yet? No. But I get it. I probably at some point figure out some rules for the money, like either you can buy power-ups or like stuff or travel costs. I don't know. I have to figure that out. For now, you just get a shit ton of money. But sometimes, and this is where the game gets even harder, the item you craft is another piece of ingredients. Like for example, this is glass, so you get a shard of glass, and that could be an ingredient in another item. Sometimes you get tooth of a fox, stuff like that. So let's say you crafted fiber. You can save that in your inventory basically, and then when something like the fishing net comes up, you know you have fiber. Or the other way around, the fishing net comes up and you see, oh shit, I need fiber. Where do I get fiber? It's not in the list. That's because fiber adds more prompts for you to read. And then you have stuff like this, for example, which is you craft a travel bag. And the travel bag is a power-up item, basically, which are the blue cards. The blue cards are items you craft and you get to keep. For example, the traveling bag, or I have a couple of potions here that have cool power-up effects. And those are the blue cards, and that is items that you get to keep. Like, these also, like, help with travel costs, for example. The travel bag itself is like, okay, you can keep ingredients between rounds, which helps if you then pull like a ginormous card, but you already have half of them, makes your month easier, you know? And sometimes you get that's especially for the teeth, but I plan on making more of these, where you get like a tooth, but you have to collect a bunch of them. You have to basically play Pokemon with these items to find all of them, and then you can craft up to get a familiar, who is then basically a recharging magic item that helps you with stuff in the coming rounds. So there is a bit of character building in here as well. I will expand on all of this. This is just literally what my brain came up with in a single week. Also, ginormous shout out to Kirsty from K-Beth Bookish, James from James Too Good, and Lee from Chaos Archives, because they all helped with the prompts. I am notoriously bad at finding reading prompts or just coming up with reading prompts. They helped so much with all of this. Huge shout out to them. Lee specifically has said that they might want to play this and also film their TBRs. So yay, cool. We encourage that. So we share this TBR game actually, and we kind of all play it together on our shared Discord server. So there are already players in here. Is this play tested yet? No. James said he wanted to play test it, and he rolled a couple of prompts and stuff, but he never really did anything with it, so this is not play tested. But it sounds fun to me, so this is my TBR game now. If it doesn't work, well, I guess I'm screwed for the whole year. So like I said, I didn't do a really good job of explaining how things work. I will play this game for my January TBR and some TBRs in the future, so maybe if this is a learning by doing situation for you, just wait until my TBR video is out. And yeah, this is my TBR game now. I'm probably going to hate it very much, because if the internet has told me anything, then it's that TBR games are usually very mean to the people who play it. And yeah, if you want to play this yourself, let me know. I can send you an invite to the Google Drive server I have for all of this. There is everything in there, the cards, the rules, the game boards. All you need is a gaming figure and a D6 to play the game. So yeah, if you want to play this game, if this looks interesting to you, let me know. I will hook you up with all the stuff. If you made it this far into the video, let me know if you have a TBR game that you like to play, if you want to play this game, if it sounds interesting, or if you just want to see where it's going in the future. If you don't want to talk to me at all, leave a dice emoji down in the comments below. And yeah, I guess I will see you in my next video. Bye!